My upload tonight at this hour of 10 o'clock is with regard to health and wellbeing and women's rights. My upload is with regard to the ongoing matters of my human rights being disrespected and the issue of treason occurring in Tralee, County Kerry in the southwest of Ireland. The individuals that have been damaging health and well-being have insulted and injured a fellowship of recovery and a fellowship of progress that they have just had very little regard for the consequences of insulting and injuring. As I've mentioned throughout all my uploads, my sacred royal light body, my avatar body of very strong layers of light had been since 2016 very severely damaged. As a new mother, this is a horrendous experience for any woman to endure. The issue today, as I've mentioned, with having experienced the layers of my light body having been damaged and the gifts, light and blessings that were within my body were and still are being violated. The issue that I'm raising today is the matter of spiritual and artificial, and basically the matter of individuals of treason that have, after how many attempts, 2 or 3 attempts since I became a married mother in 2015, failed on each attempt. They are still combining their efforts and endeavours into a very serious assault of human rights and royal patronage, and they have disrespected this entire matter with nonchalance and just sideline and disposability mentality. So it's really disrespectful to women's progress, women's rights, women's professions and purposes. And basically, the main matter I'm raising in this upload is that my environment has been imposed upon, intruded upon without my consent. It has been environmentally damaged. I'm self-healing, as I've kept reiterating throughout these uploads ad nauseum, and people are probably very tired of hearing the reality of this situation, but this is what happens when human rights abuses are occurring. So the matter of my environmental abode being damaged synthetically and artificially by individuals that had no consent to violate PTRB regulations and that have ignored whistleblower protection laws, royal patronage, regents law, etc., etc. They've just stomped in on a situation with no regard for consequences. They have been highly irresponsible with regard to their own obligations as professionals, practitioners and politicians, and they've just damaged the role of medicine, the role of women and the role of motherhood and the role of politics. They've compromised professionalism with avarice and malicious vendettas of hate crime and treason for individuals' objectives of property acquisition from my entitlements that I have earned very honestly, very diligently, very successfully, and these individuals are just causing a furore that's quite outrageous. So the issue of an artificial tagging system of sorts is the only way I can describe it, of these individuals that have been damaging my body by laser techniques remotely. It's outrageous. Since I became a married mother, what has occurred, what is occurring. As I've mentioned, my anatomy, they've damaged my visual senses. They've been, it's like tagging. It's quite disgusting for any avatar to endure the experience I'm having, especially when there are politicians, professionals and practitioners ignoring obligations. So this issue of self-healing and the issue of medical negligence is also a very serious topic for all women. And the idea of having had a very productive and purposeful and fulfilling private life before all of these offences started occurring is contrary to how things are in the present moment, which are quiet and sedentary and healthful to the best of anyone's capacity on the minimal and very disparaging situation that is occurring due to financial fraud and financial theft and financial etc. So these are the people that are breaking a hierarchy of needs of an avatar of property, and that was of good health and well-being as a recovery advocate and a humanitarian prior to all of this fiasco that has been occurring. So the issue of these people not being responsible in their professions and practices, and the idea of individuals continuing with treasonous offences after failed attempts is really quite serious. The issue of a long bloodline being damaged in a space of 3 years by poor practices isn't very successful, and it's not very intelligent human behaviour being displayed either, when it's common knowledge, it's public knowledge, that there have been people false reporting, they have been of fraudulence, they have been of defamation, and they've been of damages to sacred. So the individuals that have been trespassing onto my marital property since 2016 up to the present date have also been utilising and damaging my sacred light fragments for their own intents and purposes that have not been consented to. So the issue of individuals that don't live with me, that don't know me, and that are exacerbating offences and that have not upheld the obligations required with regard to all protection laws and aspects thereof already aforementioned, are just symptomatic of the very serious negligence and ineptitude, really, basically, of adults involved in this charade, a very dangerous one, I might add, that are just not confronting their obligations and not fulfilling their capacities, functions and duties and roles. So the European Court of Human Rights has been made aware of this situation since my application in 2019. It's 2021. My son has been harmed. My son is legally a missing person. My son is unlawfully withheld from me. I'm a mother, property owner, and educator, and my body has been damaged as a consequence of incompetence and arrogance and obnoxious individuals helping themselves to what they aren't entitled to. So that's a very dangerous situation for any society to be confronted with, and for it to be perpetuated, as I mentioned yesterday, is just even highlighting how serious people's bystander mentalities are with regard to the recent developments of individuals within a collective progressing into a hub, as they might consider it, with very serious unlawful and illegal practices and very distorted information that have damaged the role of information, the role of medicine, the role of the Hippocratic Oath, the role of democracy. They've damaged not just information, they've been defamatory, they've been fraudulently claiming not just my wealth and property, but also information they're not entitled to from my ancestry. So the matters of this situation have caused disruption to nature, and they have caused disruption to society and information. So the individuals that have utilised since 2017 light fragments from my light body are not lawfully enacting any procedures whatsoever. So they've made a plot, a storyline and a role of situations to overtake, override and overrule the premises and the practitioners and the protocol of positive progress. They have jeopardized progress, and that's really a sad sign of the times. So for now, I'm just going to leave it at that and just make everyone aware that in Tralee, County Kerry in the southwest of Ireland, there's a very serious issue with people not qualified, not entitled not within the law, not within remit, as they say, and not of royalty or royal bloodline to be in my proximity, exacerbating their offences and of fraudulence. So I'd appreciate the European Court of Human Rights and human rights agencies realising for women, all women and children, that this is quite a serious matter, and any of the liabilities facilitated any longer will cause a bigger negative outcome, I would think. So that's just my upload for now, and I hope the humanitarians prioritise this very promptly.